Welcome to this short session about signposting and referring. It's very important for any organisation to recognise that whatever service we offer to families or adults or children, that every service has a parameter where we look to what is our expertise within the service, and then we look to other services or other organisations who have expertise in different areas that the families, the children or the adults we work with will be able to benefit from. This short session is going to take you through the basics of signposting and referring when we need to get somebody to another service because it is above and beyond what our service might offer. So the purpose of signposting and referring is really just to link people with the services that will benefit them the most. To do this, we have to think about what is that person's needs and wants, what is going to really benefit them the most, and then we have to find the right service that can meet that need that has been identified. And then we need to decide how to link those two. So we need to think about whether we're going to signpost somebody or whether we're actually going to refer them into a service. So firstly, when we think about identifying the needs, we have to get to know the families, the communities, the adults, the children, and where they live in order to understand the demographics of the individuals who we are supporting. To do that, we can talk to people about any support they would benefit from. We can talk to them about the different elements of their life that might require additional services. And we can use social media to open up discussions about what type of support needs people in that community or the people that we're working with might benefit from the most. Once we've understood the person's needs, then we need to think about the right service for that person to meet that need. So we can use directories to find relevant services that will enable that person to have better outcomes. At the end of this short session, I'm going to give you some examples of directories where you can find useful services for different elements of somebody's lifestyle. We can contact Family Information Service to find out about events that are happening locally and to understand what services are available for children and families. Our Family Information Service is the go-to. And we can ask people for recommendations of useful services that they've used in the past to understand which are the best services and what did they get out of that service that will help us to think about how we might refer somebody else in future to that particular service. And I think it is important that we're looking at how do we connect the person with the service. So we have to work with that person to understand if they are able to contact that service themselves once we've given them the information about it, or whether they'll need you to contact and to support them with that referral into the service. So we'll just quickly look at the difference between signposting and referring into a service. So when we signpost into a service, this is where the person can contact the service themselves. So all we're going to do in this situation is provide the contact details along with some basic information about the service, and we're going to leave this with that individual to act on it independently. So the type of information we might want to give to somebody when we are signposting them is information about who to contact, how to make that contact, when to contact, and what to expect from the service that would be provided. When we refer somebody into a service, that is slightly different because we are going to get involved in passing their details on to the service. So some people might prefer for you to actually contact the service on their behalf. And actually, for some services, it might be necessary for a professional to refer into that service to request support. When making a referral on behalf of somebody else, you will usually need consent from that adult who you are referring to pass their name, address or telephone number onto the service. So when we signpost somebody, we give the information about the service to that individual and they contact the service. When we refer somebody, we give the individual's name, contact details and any other useful information that that adult has said we can pass on to the service, and the service will then contact the individual. So we're going to just finish off and have a look at some useful links to directories of different services that might be useful to some of the families, the children or the adults that you work with. So some really useful links. On gov.uk you can find community support groups or organisations, and you can actually put in your postcode to be able to bring up everything within your local area. At mind.org.uk, they've got lots of useful information and support guides that talk about which services might be useful around things like mental health or safeguarding. The Parent Club, really useful family support directory, and gives lots of information about different organisations that can support parents. And then we've got Women's Aid there, which is a directory for services around domestic abuse. And again, that directory will allow you to put in your postcode and it will bring up all of the services that are linked to domestic abuse within that area. I hope you found this useful and informative, and I hope you use some of these links to be able to either signpost or refer a person who might need those additional services to what your service or organisation might offer.